about to explore a more vast system, the aviation pilot goes to stresses that can threaten his safety, unless he understands and takes into account various aeromedical factors of flight that are known as aviation medicine. Wonderful thing, the human body. You're able to adjust to all kinds of environmental conditions on Earth, to changes in temperature as well as in atmospheric pressure. The one thing you probably remember from your biology is that every time you breathe in, you're taking in from the mixture of gases that make up the atmosphere oxygen your body processes need in order to function. And without oxygen, there could be no energy for your body. In short, no life. With your business completed, it's time to head back. Back to your home airport, 300 miles away, where your family is waiting. Everything's shipshape, and you're in pretty good shape yourself. You have to be to fly safely, to make any number of split-second decisions. Right one. Let's take a look at the atmosphere you're about to explore. You're in the layer nearest the Earth, where general aviation pilots do most of their flying, where Earth's weather is formed, where often the air is turbulent, and where the higher you go, the temperature and atmospheric pressure steadily decrease. The pressure at sea level is 14.7 pounds per square inch, but you're at 12,500 feet. Here, with the atmospheric pressure less than on the ground, the partial pressure of oxygen is also lower than at ground level. This lowers your intake of oxygen the brain and other parts of your body need to function properly. But no problem, there's a remedy at hand. In fact, to any safety-minded pilot, being equipped with an oxygen supply and knowing when to use it is second nature. Of the fatalities among general aviation pilots each year, some are caused by hypoxia. This simply means an inadequate supply of oxygen to the tissue level of the body. A case in point. To this pilot, with dirty weather ahead, there's an easy solution. Climb to a region where all but angels should fear to tread without extra oxygen. The onset and nature of hypoxia symptoms vary with the individual. In this case, a slight headache, a feeling of fatigue. At this altitude, within a half hour, one generally feels a sense of euphoria, a pilot who can do no wrong. In this altitude chamber, in tests conducted by the FAA, a pilot deprived of oxygen is given a task to perform.
Chamber level, 30,000 feet.
With increasing altitude, symptoms may become even more severe.
What we're going to do here is to demonstrate the hypoxia to you. What I'd like for you to do is take the cards, shuffle them, place them back in the pack as they are now, then sort them into their 4 seats. Now what you're going to be doing, your oxygen mask is going to be dropped to the ready position. We'll turn your oxygen regulator to the off position. So that when you get your symptoms of hypoxia, and feel as though you've had ample warning, then I would like for you to discontinue sorting the cards, turn your oxygen regulator on, and put your oxygen mask to your face. Any questions? I don't know. Okay, if you'll go ahead and shuffle the cards, we'll begin the experiment. Now, if you'll just put them back in the net there when you get through. Now, if you'll take your oxygen mask down to the ready position, and I'll turn your regulator off for you. All right, sir, now if you'd start sorting the cards. 30 seconds. 30 seconds, you feel okay? Time, 1 minute. Roger, we've been off 1 minute.
With the passage of time, coordination and judgment progressively deteriorate.
Feeling okay? Time, 1 minute, 30 seconds. Roger, 1 minute, 30 seconds.
Hypoxia, in its various forms, is an enemy that steals upon its victim insidiously, attacking the mind and body in different ways. The best antidote, if unequipped with an oxygen supply, descend to a lower altitude, but fast. At this rate, in another hour, you'll be home. You could have sworn you just made a 10-degree bank, but the indicator contradicts what all of your body senses say is true. You know that almost every pilot at one time or another has experienced a feeling of disorientation, but an experienced pilot knows better than to trust his body senses when subject to disorientation. There are those, however, who do not know. A case in point. For a pilot accustomed to flying by the seat of his pants, here there's no visual reference with the ground, no true horizon to guide him. Which way is up? Down. Suddenly he feels he's in a rollout, but no, the needle's still centered. It's wrong. It must be wrong. And the seed of panic begins to grow and spread. What has happened to produce the erroneous message flashed to and misinterpreted by the pilot's brain? In a Federal Aviation Agency laboratory test of disorientation, a subject is revolved in one direction until he feels as though he has stopped. When actually brought to a sudden halt, the fluid in a canal of the inner ear which governs this horizontal plane of motion has not yet come to rest. Result, the subject feels he is again in motion. Here he is asked to tilt his head, thus involving a vertical canal of the middle ear. If he lifts his head quickly and opens his eyes, what does that altimeter read? It will take some time before his brain can correctly interpret the two conflicting messages it has received and reestablish his equilibrium.
This is Beechcraft 6-5 uniform again. I'm afraid I still need help. I'm completely lost.
This is Jonesport Approach Control 6-5 uniform. What's the nature of your difficulty?
Mayday, mayday.
Roger, 6-5 uniform. Are you in a spin? If you are, release your controls, then neutralize your rudder. Over.
Help, help.
6-5 uniform. Are you level? Over. Ease back on your controls if you're in a spin. This is 6-5 uniform. Jonesport Approach.
Another cause of general aviation accidents, alcohol, and of course, fatigue. Here, a successful businessman, a pilot, proud of his judgment, of his physical endurance, of his ability to go all out for days with little rest. For him, a 200-mile flight to close a deal hanging fire for weeks is a snap, even though he's been up all night with his lawyer to prepare the papers. Pilot fatigue, with a serious decrement in performance that can lead to danger, is something that happens to other people. For his own fatigue, he thinks he has a quick cure-all, a drink, maybe two, each containing 2 ounces of whiskey. By the time he's ready to head to the airport, he's had 4, enough to give him a high blood alcohol level that will affect his judgment, coordination, and performance. A half hour later, he is on his way to close his deal. How will the alcohol in his blood affect his performance? The Federal Aviation Agency has conducted laboratory studies of the physiology of alcohol in the human body, as well as its effect with relation to air pressure. Subjects were given alcohol before attempting various tasks. The study soon demonstrates that alcohol, even in small amounts, produces a number of reactions that can easily endanger pilot safety. For example, losses in judgment, comprehension, and fine attention. A marked increase in reaction times. A decrease in memory and reasoning ability. Increased frequency of errors. Increased self-confidence with decreased insight into one's capabilities. Meanwhile, alcohol in the blood lowers the hypoxia threshold. As for this pilot, whether he will arrive safely at his destination depends largely on his luck. Drugs taken shortly before flight can also contribute to pilot deficiency. Tranquilizers, antihistamines, amphetamines, or other over-the-counter or prescription drugs, which for millions of our people have become almost an integral part of their daily lives. This pilot has taken, for the first time, a drug prescribed by her physician, unaware of her reaction to the drug, unaware also that a pilot's reactions to drugs can be, during flight, different from her reactions at sea level, with harmful effects on one's alertness, efficiency, and overall performance. A good rule to follow is, don't fly if you've taken any kind of drug within a period of several hours. Another detriment to top pilot performance, heavy smoking, bringing on effects of hypoxia at altitudes where the non-smoking pilot normally experiences no effects at all. Why? Because the more carbon monoxide you inhale from cigarette or cigar smoke, the less oxygen your blood is capable of carrying. But this pilot will soon be in far greater danger from this gas. With the heater turned on, colorless, odorless carbon monoxide exhaust fumes from the cracked manifold soon enter the cockpit, making this pilot a candidate for the morgue unless action is taken fast. Indeed, there are many physiological conditions that can affect pilot performance. Hyperventilation, dysbarisms or decompression sickness, disease states, psychological factors, all enter into aviation medicine. In 10 minutes, you'll be on the ground. To fly safely, you know you have to be in tip-top physical condition if you're to make the dozens of instant and sound decisions required in flight. And so if you have any problems, anything that can affect your flying, you make a point of leaving them where they belong, on the ground. Meanwhile, you're aware of all the human engineering factors designed into your plane. Factors that promote pilot comfort, as well as your safety while getting you to your destination. They include your oxygen supply, also your lap belt and shoulder harness to protect you from accelerative or decelerative forces. In an FAA laboratory test, high-speed cameras graphically record the behavior of a dummy restrained only by a lap belt. Here you see a comparison of the two types of restraint systems. The fact is, a shoulder harness can protect a pilot from forces of over 15 Gs at impact. Human engineering design factors, physiological and psychological factors, all enter into aviation medicine. The Federal Aviation Agency's Office of Aviation Medicine is continuing to study aeromedical factors important to your safety, and the agency has published several handbooks containing information on many aspects of aviation medicine, information every safety-minded pilot should know.
Tower, this is Twin Cessna 3076 Lima, 5 North, landing Merrill, over.
Roger, 76 Lima, cleared for straight in, runway 17, wind 180 at 10, altimeter 299.6.
76 Lima.
For a general aviation pilot, the atmosphere can be a friendly or hostile environment, safe or dangerous for flight. Today, knowledge of your machine, the atmosphere, and your physical limitations has brought you safely home.